Let's play the word guessing game. It's basically Hangman. What you do is you get a bunch of words and then you have a bunch of rounds. In each round, you play it with some random word. If they got the word right, then you add to the wins and you ask them if they want to keep playing. If they don't, you stop. Otherwise, you keep going around. That's it. This is called top level design. You write a function at the top level that uses other functions, helper functions. It helps us split up our logic into bite-sized pieces. All right, let's look at the helper functions we wanted to use. First one was get words. Okay, so get words is right here, and it reads in a file of a bunch of words, 10,000 common words, and it then asks the user, do you want to have short or long words? If it's short, they'll have words of length 4 to 7. If it's long, 10 to 15. And it tries to get words of that length out of the word list it read in. Okay, so the get mid-size word function takes that 4 to 7 or 10 to 15, that's low to high, goes through the words, and pulls out the words of that length. To do that, it first has to split lines the words because the words that came in are one big string, multi-line string. So we split lines to get individual words, go through those, make sure it's not a comment because we had some lines in the file that start with a pound sign for a comment. And then we check the length. If it's in the right range, we add it to our result. Make sure to put a new line there because the result itself is a single multi-line string. And that's it. So we got those words. Cool. As for let's see, where was it? Get word lengths. That is here. And it just asks the user what word lengths you want and keeps doing that until we get a legal answer. Okay. As for read file, you only have to know how to use it. You don't have to know how to write it. We'll just copy it from the notes and assume it works. You just call it with a path, and we used it to get all the words right here inside get words. So read file, give it a path, and just you get words. Awesome. So now we're back down here, and we're back to playround. Playround is the function that does the heavy lifting here. It takes a word, a target word. Actually, took a word from get random word. We should probably look there first briefly. So get random word is right here. Has a bunch of words. All it does is split lines them again to turn them into individual words and asks the random module to give us a choice, a random choice out of those. Pretty short function that chooses a random word. Now we're on to play around. So to play around, we convert our word to uppercase in case it wasn't. So everything's in upper. And then we have a guessed word. A guessed word is just a bunch of dashes at first. So if our word was, say, dog, our guessed word would be dash, dash, dash. And we're trying to turn our guessed word into the target word. Here's the letters you have guessed, the maximum mistakes you're allowed to make, the total mistakes you've made so far. And now we play the game. So long as you haven't made too many mistakes and you haven't guessed the word, we keep playing. Okay? We tell you the word you've guessed, we tell you how many more wrong guesses you have to make, and then we get a guess. So get guess just asks the user to give us a letter and keeps doing that until you give us a letter. Okay? Cool. So now there's some possibilities. One possibility is that you already guessed it because our list of letters you guessed includes this new guess. Say you already guessed that and it's wrong. Otherwise, down here, this is a new guess. So we add it to the guesses, so we remember that you guessed it, and now there's two possibilities. It's either in the target word or it's not. And if it's in the target word, we update our guessed word to include that letter, which I'll come back to in a moment. And if it's not, we simply say it's not. So right here, like if our target word was Babel, and our guessed word was all dashes. When we guess B, we want to actually replace all the B's in the guess word. So we have B dash BB dash dash. Okay, so that's what get guessed word does. It takes the target word, like Babel, it takes guesses, which are the letters that you have guessed so far in the order that you guessed them, and it assembles a new guessed word, where the guessed word contains letters that you've guessed and dashes in the places that you haven't. Okay? So actually, let's go look at get guessed word. Here it is. So the target word could be somewhere like Babel, and the guesses could be something like, say, BRQ. Okay, kind of weird guesses, but so be it. So we have a result, which is this word, but with dashes in the places that we didn't guess. We go through every letter, and there's two possibilities. We did guess the letter, in which case the user gets to see it, or we did not guess the letter, in which case we replace it with a dash. And then we go ahead and return the result. Cool. So we're down here, and we've got that guessed word, which again is what you display to the user. Okay. In fact, I'll run this, and I'll say I'll do a nice long word. This is the guessed word. Okay. When I go ahead and guess the letter E, there were no E's. There we go. And so now the guessed word contains dashes where I didn't get it right, and it contains the letters that I've already guessed where I did get it right. And it was get guessed word that took the target word, whatever it is, and my guesses, which was E and A, and produced this string. Okay, great. So now we keep going until one of two things happens. Either we got too many wrong, or we got the whole word right. So we get out here, and if we got too many wrong, we just said, oh no, sorry, you got it wrong, and return false. That means you failed to guess the word. Otherwise, you got it, and we return true. And that's it. All the other functions here are just things like get guess or get keep playing, which are simple functions asking for input. So that's all the functions that are used in the word guessing game. Again, this code is online, and I encourage you to go look at it because we moved pretty quickly here, but this gives you a high-level overview of how the code works. Enjoy.